Hey guys, let's get more news from Steelers, but first don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave your like. Steelers Mitch Trubisky to start again, Kenny Pickett still out. With quarterback Kenny Pickett sidelined another week as he recovers from ankle surgery, the Pittsburgh Steelers will roll with Mitch Trubisky as their starter against the Indianapolis Colts. Trubisky struggled in his first start of the season last week, completing 22 of 35 passes for 190 yards with 2 touchdowns, 1 pass, 1 rush, and an interception in the loss to the New England Patriots. On Monday, Tomlin noted that Trubisky improved in the second half of Thursday's game. Mitch picked up his play as the game wore on, Tomlin said. I thought that is a reasonable expectation for him to be even better because of that experience, and because of the experience of having a full week's prep this week in preparation for the performance, in helmet reps, full speed reps, excited about that component of it. In the first half, Trubisky completed 6 of 11 passes for 61 yards and a touchdown and threw a second-quarter interception that the Patriots turned into a TD 2 plays later. Trubisky also had a handful of near misses in the first half, including a first-quarter interception overturned for defensive pass interference. In the second half, though, Trubisky completed 16 of 24 attempts for 129 yards with a rushing touchdown. It improved as the game wore on, Tomlin said of Trubisky's decision-making. And I think with the full week's prep, I think it's reasonable to expect that to continue at an increased rate. Though Trubisky improved in the second half, the offense still struggled to move the ball. In the third quarter, an 11-play, 7-minute drive went only 32 yards and ended in a punt. 2 other second-half possessions ended in turnovers on downs, including one at New England's 8-yard line, when the offense couldn't capitalize on Michael Walker's interception that had started the drive at the Patriots' 16. After the final play of that drive, which ended with a pass short of the sticks to Jayron Warren, wide receiver George Pickens slumped in visible frustration in the end zone. Cameras also showed Pickens, who didn't talk to reporters after the game, yelling at teammates on the sideline during the game. Throughout the season, Pickens hasn't been shy about expressing his emotions and frustrations. It is a problem because it's not solution-oriented, Tomlin said when asked about Pickens' outbursts. Ben Roethlisberger, Mike Tomlin could stick with Eddie Faulkner as OC in 2024 unless Mr. Rooney steps in. Perspective is a fragile thing. Nobody can be exactly in your shoes, and even if they once were, they can never see with your eyes. Even when players retire, their perspective changes. For example, former Pittsburgh Steelers QB Ben Roethlisberger said yesterday on his podcast in so many words that the Steelers should pack it in if they lose to the Indianapolis Colts on Saturday. Through the end of the season, running backs coach Eddie Faulkner is serving as interim offensive coordinator, while quarterbacks coach Mike Sullivan acts as play caller during games. 3 games into that pairing, it isn't exactly looking promising. Of course, they also haven't had their starting quarterback for half of that time, and they did look good in the first game, except in the red zone. Pittsburgh held to just 16 points despite producing over 400 yards of offense. Still, Roethlisberger imagines the team won't look so far next offseason to fill the post. Is Sully or Coach Faulkner going to be the coordinators moving forward? I could see Coach Mike Tomlin doing Coach Falk, he said. I think this is kind of like a trial thing. I don't think he would give it to Sully, but I think he would give it to Falk. I think Sully would be great. Tomlin gave Faulkner his first NFL job in 2019 when he hired him to be their running backs coach. He has always spoken highly of Faulkner as an up-and-coming coach, and he put his money where his mouth is after selecting him to serve in the interim role. At the same time, he could have shown a little more faith in him by allowing him to call his own plays rather than passing that responsibility onto Sullivan. But his intentions were to find the best option for 2023, and Sullivan has coordinating experience, including calling the plays, so he leaned on his veteran quarterbacks coach. Tomlin has only made one outside hire for an offensive or defensive coordinator post since being hired in 2007. Defensively, both Keith Butler and now Terrell Austin were in-staff promotions. Offensively, the same is true for Bruce Arians, Randy Fichtner, and Canada. The only exception is Todd Haley, who presided over the Killer BS era, and many opt to believe that was a move forced on him by owner Art Rooney too. Could he force an outside hire this offseason? Of Tomlin bringing in somebody from the outside, Roethlisberger said, "It's a possibility. I know it's not what Tomlin does. He doesn't like to go get young, good coaches. Byron Leftwich would be great. But I think he might try and stay with Falk unless Mr. Rooney steps in." Cowboys predicted poaching security veterans in 2024. As time goes by, the Dallas Cowboys starter could be on his way out soon. As proposed by Alex Valentine of Bleacher Report, the Steelers could be an ideal landing spot for the Cowboys starting strong safety Jayron Kearse. Kearse will be a free agent during the 2024 offseason, and the Cowboys could allow the 29-year-old veteran to work as a free agent. Valentine argues that Kearse could give the Steelers exactly what they need in 2024. Jayron Kearse is not a long-term solution, Valentine writes. He is 29 years old, and giving him a long-term contract would put them in the same situation for the foreseeable future. However, he could be exactly what they need in 2024. Kearse is currently in the final year of a 2-year, $10 million contract he signed during the 2022 offseason. In 3 seasons with Dallas, Kearse has started 38 of his 42 games, accumulating 232 tackles and 4 interceptions. However, Kearse's play hasn't exactly been strong this season. According to Pro Football Focus, Kearse posted a low 48.2 defensive grade and a 46.0 coverage grade this season. Among safeties with at least 100 defensive snaps, Kearse is the 11th lowest rated safety in defensive grade and the 8th lowest rated safety in coverage. Kearse's playing time actually decreased as the Cowboys opted to allow other defensive backs to get more playing time. Kearse has appeared in 78% of defensive snaps this season, compared to 88% of snaps during the 2022 season and 94% of snaps during the 2021 season. It wasn't long ago that Valentine wrote that the Cowboys should have traded Kearse at the deadline end in October. At the beginning of the season, Kearse was on the field for every defensive snap. Since this week, he has seen a reduction in these snaps, Valentine wrote on November 8. Donovan Wilson and Malik Hooker are playing more than Kearse, with Wanya Thomas waiting in the wings. Kearse is a good player, but the Cowboys had an opportunity to trade from a position of strength to fill a need or get more draft picks. With Kearse set to leave as a free agent, perhaps it would be wise to see what they could get for him. And you fan, what do you think of the Jayron Kearse situation? Leave your opinion in the comments.